Welcome back to the pulse here on Joy News. Now, the Senior Staff Association of the Volta River Authority, VRA, is warning Ghana could pay huge judgment debt and risk its power security if it continues curtailing power to its neighboring countries, particularly to Burkina Faso. It will be recalled that at the height of the current energy crisis, President Akufo-Addo directed the curtailment of power supply to Ghana's neighbors to serve the local markets. But the VRA senior staff says this could have serious legal implications for the country. The VRA workers are also raising a myriad of other issues affecting the power supply, including ECG's indebtedness to the company. So, head of our energy desk, Samuel Kojo Brace, joins me in studio with a copy of the VRA statement as we go through them. So, Kojo, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So, let's start with the concerns they have with the curtailment of power supply to neighboring countries, especially Burkina Faso. But first, let's establish it. Is the curtailment still ongoing?
Yeah, as we know, I mean, the situation, unless it balances first before, but they are worried about this whole, curtailment because they say that it could bring a lot of challenges, especially the payment of judgment debt. Now, they refer us to when this dam was being constructed and the sort of
agreement
the
that
environmental impact assessment they did said that it could cause inundation of the northern western plains of Togo and Benin. So if that challenge is going to come, how do you pay for that challenge? So Ghana agreed with them that we'll supply you power. So when we generate the power, we'll supply part of it to you. Now it says Burkina Faso, you know the Bagre Dam?
Right.
They restricted that dam construction to only agricultural purposes and not to generate power because of the agreement we had signed with them.
Because the agreement says that we will supply you electricity.
Exactly.
So there's no need for you to develop your dam.
On the same, the source or whatever that we will be tapping, the power from. Now it says these agreements have been in inception since the construction of the dam. And even in the 1980s, when we had a challenge with our power, we still supply power to these people. Now, if we decide to cut it today, it will lead to the payment of judgment debt, and in their words, which will be paid by us Ghanaians, even when we know the pressure which is on us. So that's the point that they are raising.
And the long-term danger, as when we spoke to Dr. Kwabena Donkor some few weeks back on this program, Dr. Kwabena Donkor says that if he was to advise Burkina Faso, he would tell them to develop their own dam.
That
would
a problem.
mean an issue for their Kosomo dam.
Exactly, because the water that we get will probably suffer, and even when we generate the power and we are not able to supply here, what do we do with it? But again, there's another fundamental point they make, that the provision of power in the sub-region has created some stability and security. So if you curtail that, you would also have to think about the danger you would have on the security in the sub-region.
There's another point about the cash waterfall mechanism. A matter that doesn't want to go away.
Exactly. Now, you know that in 2023, they sort of repositioned the cash waterfall mechanism to categorize the players in the sector into two. So we had category A and category B. The A had the IPPs and the B had the state-owned enterprises like the VRA, Great Co, Ghana Cars, and the Bui Power. Now, the senior staff are alleging that the agreement was that ECG will pay into that cash waterfall mechanism 1 billion cedis as energy sales revenue every month so that they could share amongst the players. Now, the cash waterfall mechanism guarantees a payment of some $43 million, which is equivalent to 587.38 million cedis, to these IPPs at the end of the month. Now, they are raising concerns that the IPPs, today as we speak, VRA is producing more power than the IPP, because they specifically say that if you look at the plan that they have now, as of May 10, 2024, the IPPs have 2,150 megawatt available capacity, but they're only generating 856 megawatts
as of this month.
Yes, 10th May, which represent 39.8%, while VRA with 2,165 megawatt available capacity is generating a total of 1,777 megawatt, representing 82%. This means that the IPPs are contributing around 32.5 of the national grid, whilst the VRA is doing 67.5. But the IPPs are guaranteed $45 million every month.
And they have issues with this?
Exactly, because they say that even for them, the state-owned enterprises, including VRA, they are underpaid. And they give an example that as of May, they had billed ECG 1 billion cedis, but only 300 and something thousand had been captured under the cash water mechanism. Even out of that, ECG still owes them 147 million.
As at the end of March 2024.
Yes. So that's why they are saying that if you guarantee that IPPs will have $45 million every month, and they are not even producing as we are, why are we underpaid? And they are saying that is generating, fiscal challenges for them, and it's not helping them to go ahead and carry out whatever they have to carry out. So that's the warning they are giving, that if they are not paid, it could cause a lot of challenges.
And then if I can just quote, it said the SOEs, that's especially VRA, are disadvantaged as they are not fully paid. And where they are even paid are not adequately compensated for forest exchange losses. This sadly defeats the objective of the revised cash waterfall mechanism, which was to ensure that revenue collected from the electricity market is allocated across the electricity market equitably and transparently. What is the basis of paying the IPPs a fixed amount of $43 million US? And that's the question they are asking.
Exactly, because they are saying that currently all VRA available plants are running 24/7. They are on producing. The same cannot be said about the IPPs. That's what VRA senior staff are saying. Yet, at the end of the month, they are given $43 million. And they allege again that even some IPPs that are not generating onto the grid
are being
paid. So probably ECG
will have to do another explanation
exactly.
on this matter. But we do know that there's a standing agreement between government and the IPPs.
Yes.
To clear some over $1.2 billion debt.
Yes, yeah.
Perhaps if there's transparency in how the utilization of the money is done, it will clear all of these down.
Yeah.
But is there...
But again, even before we move on, they are also pointing to a price, a PwC
the
audit of the ECG account. And they realized some 670 million difference between the account. And they are saying that it's because the ECG is not being transparent in terms of the amount that they report to the cash waterfall mechanism. So there's a lot to work.
They also respond to claims that there is a push for the sale of the thermal plants of VRA.
Yeah. Now, recently, the CEO of the IPP's chamber, Dr. Elikem Apetobo, said that, the thermal plants of the VRA must be privatized. And they are saying that they wonder why he's making that point at this time, because they see the IPPs as partners in developing this country. So it's quite, they don't really understand why.
The rationale behind the call.
Exactly. And to quote them, they say that, we wonder if his recent statement on electricity export by VRA and privatization of VRA's thermal assets in the media are his personal sentiment or the views of the group he purports to represent. And then they again say that they are aware of a clandestine move by the IPPs, to try to replace VRA in the export market. So push away VRA and replace them with the IPPs. Somebody will say it's a business,
of course.
It's a business move. Once we are in the same stream and you're not probably performing up to what is required of you, then I'll try and push you there and come. But they are saying that is something that they don't expect the IPPs to do because we're in partners. And then in conclusion, this is quite, they say that, quote, "We wish to reiterate that VRA is the only strategic state-owned providing and guaranteeing the energy security for the people of Ghana. And for that of its asset must not be put on sale." It said the authority is efficient in operating and managing its asset and thus should be allowed to operate in diverse generation mix, devoid of any unwarranted privatization. And then they say that the staff of VRA and our colleagues in the other SOEs shall fiercely resist and use all legitimate means at our disposal to ensure that the people of Ghana are not robbed of affordable electric power under the guise of privatization.
Your Brace, head of our energy, thank you very much for coming to with all details.